This episode of Around the Oval is brought to you by Todd Pennington with Revolution Mortgage.
Hey, Ohio State fans, Alex Gleitman here, back with another edition of Around the Oval, brought to you by Todd Pennington with Revolution Mortgage on BuckeyeScoop.com. We have a very special guest with us here this week. He's no longer an Ohio State commitment. He's no longer, an Ohio State recruiting prospect, but he is officially a quarterback at The Ohio State University. We bring in Devin Brown, Arizona native, played at Corner Canyon High School in Draper, Utah this past season. Devin, first off, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And, we mentioned you're officially a quarterback at Ohio State. Last week, you signed your national letter of intent with the Buckeyes, making it official. It's certainly been a long journey for you, this recruiting process, committing way back to USC and then ending up signing with Ohio State. We'll get to that in just a minute. But, first question I think we're going to ask you is just how does it feel to officially be a Buckeye?
It's pretty awesome. It's really a dream come true. The support from all the fans and everything has been super crazy, and everybody's been so supportive of me. It's been truly awesome, and just can't wait to get up there.
Yeah, for sure. And, we're excited to see you up there. You're entering a really competitive quarterback room, but, there's plenty to be excited about with what you're going to bring to the table, whether it's next year or down the road at some point in Columbus. Let's go back through the process just a bit. As I mentioned, you were originally committed to USC. Obviously, there were some coaching changes there with Clay Helton ending up being relieved of his duties. They eventually brought in Lincoln Riley. It took them obviously a while to do so. They kind of had to wait for the whole season to play out. But, for you, kind of just take us back through that process of, what it was like for you to go through that, committing to USC, kind of what was going through your mind with the coaching changes. You obviously visited Ole Miss. You looked at Texas, you looked at Ohio State, a few other places, probably looked back at USC a little bit. Just take us through that process and how you ended up ultimately at Ohio State.
It was hectic. For the longest time, I thought I was going to be a Trojan. Like, it was planned out. Like, we had everything set and done. Like, coaches were still going to be there. We thought it was a done deal. And then as soon as Coach Helton got fired, my whole world turned upside down, and it was a totally different deal. And we didn't know who the coach was going to be for a long time. I just had a really good relationship with Coach Daggy and Coach Harrell. And, as things went on, I kind of knew that they weren't going to be there. So I had to realize I had to find another place and find what's best for me. And then that's kind of when Ohio State and all these other schools started to get in the mix. And it was hectic. I mean, COVID shut everything down, but luckily I was able to go see all my visits now this year because everything was back open. So I could really see everything in person, get to see coaches in person and talk to different players and get a feel for their systems in person, get a feel for the culture and everything. So once I got all that done, it was just good to have my family sit down and talk with them and have the coaches sit with my family and just see what was best.
Yeah, I can't even imagine it. Whatever, 17, 18 years old, going through that experience, trying to make what you, up until this point, probably the biggest decision of your life.
Right.
Had some adventures along the way. So I credit to you for being able to kind of come out of that and make a decision, but it's awesome that you had such great options too at the end of the day. And you knew
Right.
with a lot more time in advance that USC probably wasn't going to be the place you ended up. So let me ask you, as I said, Texas, Ole Miss, obviously USC, Ohio State, there was a number of other schools that I'm sure were reaching out to you and pursuing you. Why was it Ohio State in the end for you?
Just really Coach Day and Coach Dennis. I felt really good about them and good about the systems that they have in place and how they coach, and just that culture that they have in Columbus it's awesome. And they're just so family oriented. Like, the players are always at their house. Their families are so connected through the team and everything. And it's just an awesome place to be.
Yeah. And it can't hurt the track record they have. Coach Day, Dwayne Haskins, Justin Fields, 2 first rounders. Obviously CJ Stroud looking like, he was a Heisman Trophy finalist in his first year
Right.
playing, and next year could be off to the NFL as a first rounder as well. You look at the quarterback room that they have now, obviously CJ's there. Kyle McCord is there. Quinn Ewer's not there anymore. Jack Miller not there anymore. They had a great room this year with those 4 guys. But you enter this room with CJ Stroud as the starting quarterback, or at least incumbent starting quarterback. You have Kyle McCord, who started a game as a true freshman and showed some promise. I mean, what is your mindset coming into this quarterback room that's highly competitive. I know Coach Day is always going to say, doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters what CJ did last year, but if you're the best guy for the job as a true freshman, he's going to play you as the best guy for the job. But, obviously if healthy, it's probably assumed CJ's there, and Kyle's a really good player too. So what's your mindset? Just, I know you kind of put out on social media betting on yourself, and I love the Rounders reference that you threw in there, but we just love to hear your mindset entering this talented quarterback room.
Yeah, I mean, it's just to put my head down and work. I mean, really anywhere you go into, there's going to be great quarterbacks everywhere. That's just the nature of the game. Every school is going to go after the best recruits and best players, and especially Ohio State being a national playoff contender every year, they're going to have the best quarterbacks and best players. So that's going to be there no matter where you go. But it's just to go in and work and learn the system right away, and build and join that whole movement, and just get into workouts right away, getting to know players and building relationships with all the guys. But just learning everything and putting as much in as I can.
Yeah, and you're enrolling early. You'll get up there in January. Is that the plan?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer at this point, really, for anyone, in my opinion, if you're able to, but especially a quarterback, as you said, kind of get adjusted to school, learn the system, get in the strength and conditioning program, get a chance to go through spring ball. I wanted to ask you, I know this wasn't one of the questions I ran by you before, but just with the nature of college football right now with the transfer portal, it's kind of nuts, especially at the quarterback position. It seems like there's just no patience to kind of stay and be developed somewhere. I mean, you even look at a guy like Joe Burrow. He was at Ohio State for 3 years, got a chance to be developed by Coach Tim Beck, as well as Coach Day and Urban Meyer. And, I think if you talk to Joe today, he would just talk about how valuable, like, of course, everyone wants to get on the field from day one, but I think Joe would tell you he probably wouldn't be the quarterback he was today, wouldn't be the first overall pick in the draft, win a national championship at LSU, if it wasn't for what he learned and how he developed at Ohio State. So I guess I just want to kind of get your point of view on, like, obviously no one goes in anywhere expecting to eventually transfer. You pick the school hoping, that's eventually going to be your home, but is not playing right away potentially going to be frustrating to you? Like, what is your mindset on just the state of college football and the patience, especially at the quarterback position, where really one person only plays at a time?
Yeah, no, not at all. Like, I want to go in and work. I could expect to, sit 1 year redshirt or whatever. It's the nature of the game. If there's guys playing in front of you, they're going to play until you're ready to go. If I'm not ready to go, I'm not ready to go. But just that's a big thing I've talked with Coach Day about is him developing me and getting me ready to play. And so I'm just going to go in and work, like I said, and just ride it out.
And we have full confidence it's going to work out for you with the Buckeyes in the end. So what I'll ask you is, I think we've seen the highlights. We've gotten a glimpse of your personality a little bit through social and things like that. And hopefully the people watching this or listening get a good feel for you here. But what are you going to bring to Ohio State, both on the field and off the field?
Just a great player and a great person that just can just represent a university and a program. I'm just another 18-year-old kid, but I think I can represent myself very well and hold myself to a higher standard, and obviously play great ball, but just be a good person outside of school, on campus, to other people, and just a kid that just loves to be outdoors and love doing fun things.
Yeah, well, it seems like you're going to fit in really well. It's like, I know you haven't been committed to Ohio State all that long, but it seems like you've bonded really well with the guys in your class at a minimum. Just tell us a little bit about what's your relationship like with the other 2022 signees. As I said, you kind of got a late start with them, but it seems like, at least based on what we've seen on social media, you kind of got a good relationship going with them so far.
Yeah, all of us have been pretty close already. We all have a group chat. We're always talking with each other and everything. And then I'm actually rooming with Bennett and George, and I probably say I'm the closest with Bennett. I'm always talking with him. Me and him are always chopping it up a bunch. And then obviously being from Arizona, I know Keon pretty well, and I think I'm actually going to go throw with him today and get a little workout with him. But we're all really close, and we're all cracking jokes with each other, and it's already like we've been playing with each other for a while, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you mentioned Keon. I mean, he's one of 4 receivers in this class, and you got 4, like, whether they're 5-star or 4-star. I mean, everyone's got different opinions, but they're four of the best, probably the top 10 wide receivers in the country, top 15 wide receivers in the country. You obviously, the way Coach Hartline's recruited that position, yes, they lose Chris Olave. Yes, they're probably going to lose Garrett Wilson, but Emeka Egbuka and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, that room is just loaded. What was it like for you as a quarterback? I mean, obviously that had to have played a little bit of a role, but how does it feel to know that the guys on the roster, the guys in your class are of that caliber at the position you're going to be thrown to?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, as a quarterback, you're always going to want the best receivers. I mean, I've seen it firsthand playing at two different schools. Just the difference of having great receivers, it's game changing, really. And so, just to have those guys that can go out and make plays for you and fight for you every play and go after the ball when you're in a rough situation, it's a completely different game. And so, I'm really excited.
Yeah, and it's nice if you make a mistake here or there, just misplace a ball a little bit, throw it a little high, throw it a little low, wide, inside. Having great receivers like that can kind of hide some of those mistakes here or there, and maybe
Definitely.
a broken play turns into a touchdown pretty easily with guys like that. So that's always nice to have.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so you mentioned you're from Arizona, but you played in Utah. Ohio State, I think, has done a really nice job recruiting out there. In the past, maybe not so much. Actually from Corner Canyon, I believe Brandon Bowe, an offensive lineman a few years back, was from there.
Yep.
But we talked about Keon, Chris Olave's from California, Enoch Vimahi's from Hawaii. Tommy Togiai last year was from Idaho. They've had a few guys, Haskell Garrett from Bishop Gorman in Vegas. So they've done a really nice job recruiting out there. Is there anyone out there, it's probably too late for 2022, but maybe 2023 guys that that you're going to try to kind of bring out to Columbus with you?
Really not yet, to be honest. Where I'm so recent, I don't really have much time, obviously, to work on 22 guys, like you said, but they haven't really brought up any 23 guys to me yet. But as it goes, they'll definitely bring up guys. And like Chris Miller, the D lineman from Georgia, I've already been on him a little bit. And I don't know if you saw some of the social media stuff, his quarterback tweet and whatever. It's pretty funny. He's a funny kid.
Yeah, he might be taking your spot. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's good. And, you guys do have a few guys who either have signed and not yet technically announced, or maybe haven't signed and announced yet, like Christian Miller.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, you guys will be at Ohio State when they're making their decisions, but
Right.
I'm sure you'll be on them to try to kind of add to this class and things of that nature. So last couple of questions I got for you. I mean, let's move away from football. What are the things you like to do? What does Devin Brown like to do when he's not on the football field or in the film room?
A lot of outdoor stuff. I love outdoor stuff. Like being in Utah, there's a ton to do, especially with all my guys. Like I was always with my teammates. We're always doing everything no matter what. Like outside of football, we're the closest guys, and we're going camping or going hiking, or like it's snowing like crazy up there. I went from it being 20 degrees and with like a foot of snow to being 70 degrees outside in Arizona coming back home. But we're sledding, doing things like that, fishing. Like those are the things I love to do. Riding four-wheelers, just really anything outdoor and active. That's what I have a knack for.
It's awesome. There's definitely going to be plenty of opportunity to do that in Ohio too. I know a bunch of guys in the team are into the outdoors and doing stuff
Yep.
like that. So I'm sure you'll have a great time with them. Last thing before we let you go, we're going to give you an opportunity, send a message, say a little message to Buckeye Nation here before you sign off. So the floor is yours, Devin. Proverbial mic. What do you want to say to Buckeye Nation before you kind of head to Columbus in a few weeks and enroll at Ohio State?
Just be ready. I'm not going to be playing right away, but just in these next few years, we got a lot of special guys, and it's going to be a special place in Columbus, and we're going to do a lot of great things and bring home some national championships.
Well, that last part is certainly what the fans want to hear. National championships. Feels like just yesterday, but it's been 7. It will be almost 8 years next year. Or 6 going on 7 years, something like that, since Ohio State won its last national title, and obviously not winning the Big Ten, not beating Michigan this year. A little extra motivation to do both of those things and maybe win the national title next year. So, Devin, we appreciate your time. Congratulations again on signing with Ohio State.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're looking forward to covering your career in Columbus on Buckeye Soup. For those of you who are on Twitter, make sure you go on Twitter, give him a follow at DBrownQB33. He's got a good social media game, and he's going to bring a good game to the field in Columbus.
This episode of Around the Oval was brought to you by Todd Pennington with Revolution Mortgage. If you've been thinking about refinancing or buying a house, check out our sponsor, Todd Pennington with Revolution Mortgage. They offer low rates for refinancing and home purchase loans, including first-time home buyer programs, down payment assistance, and cash-out home equity loans. Check out revolutionmortgage.com/tpennington.